Hey everybody, this is Ryan McClanahan with historythroughcards.com. I hope you're all doing very well today. This video I want to share with you the story of Andy Phillip, and this is a 1957-58 Topps. It is Topps' first entry into basketball, and I really like the design of this particular set. I actually had a number of these cards when I was a kid going to college, but then I sold every single card except for the Bob Cousy because I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I sold Bob Cousy's cards. So I sold like almost everything I had, and that was including the 1961-62 Flair set as well that I picked up and I sold so I could pay for college. And I actually had to go back years and years later to try to uh, basically find what I had sold and the list of all the cards and then rebuy those cards back. And it's been a challenge. Um, I I'm not gonna complete the sets at all, but there are certain cards that I was like afterwards thinking like I shouldn't have sold that, but I didn't really have much of a choice. I had to pay for college, and so that's how I never really had any outstanding student loans because I was buying and selling cards, and so this card I did have, and now I have it again, and there was a reason why I wanted this card. First off, Andy Phillip is a Hall of Famer, and second off, he's a World War II vet. And I'm going to go through a really neat article on him, and just so you guys are familiar with Andy Phillip and what he actually had to go through, which to me is really amazing. It's really astounding the fact that we actually only see these guys as sports figures, but we don't actually see the other side of what it is to be not just a sports figure, but human as well. We forget the human aspect of card collecting. We forget that these guys also live in the community as well, and they may not be famous, even though he was a Hall of Famer. He's he's not Bill Russell. He's not Bob Cousy. Bob Cousy's still alive. In fact, I think he's like 96 years old, and I hope he lives to be 100 years old. Um, but Andy Phillip here has a great story that I wanted to share with you guys today, and this card. And I'll tell you something really interesting about this set. So, if you wanted to go after the 1957 set, there's one thing that you really need to keep in mind is that um, these cards can look trimmed and they're not actually trimmed. The cards, the top of the cards here, were factory trimmed, if you will. You really need to get another card to go, get side by side, position it side by side, and make sure it lines up exactly. And the thing that you're going to see a lot of these cards, the top of them looks like it's trimmed, and it's not. It's the exact size that you're looking for, but for whatever reason, they just look trimmed, and it's factory. It's perfectly fine, but that also can mean too opportunities for the average collector or any collector who wants to buy some of these cards that a dealer may think that they're trimmed and give you a fairly good deal on, and there's really nothing wrong. It looks like, and I'll show you the back of it too. And some of these actually are upside down. This one is not upside down. I think the majority of these are upside down, but this card, as you can see here, it's not upside down. The back of it. Usually the backs are upside down, but not with this, which is weird. You very rarely see that. But again, here he's on the Celtics during their championship run, and I tried to look up who number 16 was on the Royals, and I haven't been able to find that. I thought it was one person, but it doesn't appear to be the person that I thought it was. So I'm still looking. If you guys know who number 16 is on the Royals in, say, like 1956 or 57, let me know, because I'd love to hear it. So anyway, Here's the story. I think you can find it really interesting. Here we go. This is from the Miami Herald, May 6th, 2001. Andy Phillip, star of NBA in the 1950s. Andy Phillip, the Hall of Fame guard who starred in the early 1940s for the University of Illinois basketball teams known as the Whiz Kids, and then became a premier playmaker in the NBA, died April 28th at his home in Rancho Mirage, California. He was 79. The cause was congestive heart failure, said his wife, Corky. A five-time All-Star during his 11-year career in the NBA, Phillip was the first player to have at least 500 assists in a season, amassing 539 for the Philadelphia Warriors in 1951 and 1952. Former Boston Celtics and St. Louis Hawks star Easy Ed Macaulay regarded Phillip together with the Celtics' Bob Cousy and the Knicks' Dick McGuire, another Hall of Famer, as the three greatest passers in the game. The 6'3" Phillip, a native of Granite City, Illinois, was a two-time All-American at Illinois, helping lead the team to Big Ten championships in 1942 and 1943. The Whiz Kids went off to war after the 1943 season. Phillip served as a lieutenant in the Marine Corps, taking part in the Iwo Jima campaign and returning to Illinois for the 1946-47 season. He made his pro debut in 1947-1948 with the Chicago Stags of the Basketball Association of America, forerunner of the NBA, and remained with the team for 3 seasons. He played with the Warriors for 2 seasons and with the Fort Wayne Pistons for 4 seasons, then seemed ready to retire because of a knee problem. But Red Auerbach, the Celtics coach, obtained Phillip to back up Cousy, one of the greatest guards in league history, playing on a team that had 5 other future Hall of Famers: Cousy, Bill Russell, Bill Sharman, Tom Heinsohn, and Frank Ramsey. Phillip helped the Celtics win their first title in 1957. He retired after his second season in Boston and was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield, Massachusetts in 1961. So 6'3" seems a little short to be in basketball, at least today anyway. But back when Andy Phillip here was playing, he actually may have towered over other basketball players. And being 6'3" and Iwo Jima, he probably stuck out like a sore thumb. And my hat's off to the guy just for his service in World War II. And I do collect a lot of players who were in the military in either World War I or Korea or Vietnam, and so he fits in nicely with that part of my collection. And I really wanted to find out a little bit more about Andy Phillip today, and tell you guys a little bit more about the card itself and the set. And it's a really interesting set. It definitely screams 1950s. The design is absolutely 1950s. You just can't get around it with this right here. I think it's a mid-century modern. But again, there are a lot of Hall of Famers in this set. There's a lot of short prints as well. And obviously the key rookies in this set are the Bob Cousy and the Bill Russell. And, Bill Russell's a very interesting guy. I knew him for a long time and have some interesting conversations. Really nothing about basketball. We didn't talk about basketball much, very often. It was about other things, and maybe someday I'll tell you. This card in particular, if you're looking for it, they are out there. It's not expensive. You guys can afford this card. I'm not going to say it's a double print, but it seems like it is a double print. And it's affordable. You guys can pick it up if you want. A lot of these cards, again, are they're going to appear to be trimmed, and they're not trimmed. It's just the way the factory basically chopped up the cards and the sheets, right? And that may be to your advantage again, as I say. But again, 11-year career is pretty short, I think, for a basketball player, even in the 1940s. So he must have been really, really good. Obviously, if Easy Ed McCauley, who's another Hall of Famer, said that this guy was fantastic, and he compared him to Dick McGuire, who's another Hall of Famer. You know, he had to have been doing something good. And again, I'm not entirely sure who number 16 was on the Cincinnati Royals. I've been trying to find that out. So if you guys know who it is, let me know in the comment section below. And again, this is a fantastic set. If you were looking to add a few cards on the cheap, Andy Phillip might be a good fit for you. And again, he's out there. You can find his cards. The 1949 Bowman that he's on is a really nice card as well. I don't have a lot of those. I only have 3 in my collection, and I'll probably talk more about those. But you don't have a whole lot of sets of basketball players in the 1940s, 50s, or 60s. It's more in the 1970s and 80s, which is too bad because there's a lot of great ball players from those eras. Bowman, it's a completely different animal from 1949, and it's a really different game. If you think about it, basketball players in the 1940s, if they were not coming out of World War II, which I think is kind of still unusual, and you don't see a whole lot of basketball players who were in World War II. I can think of maybe 2 or 3, but I think there's not a whole lot out there. So he's kind of unusual because, again, I can't think of too many sports players who were actually involved in Iwo Jima. So if you guys can, think off the top of your head, let me know. I'd love to hear it. But again, great set, and I think you're going to enjoy it if you do decide to pick up a few cards. It's not going to run you a whole lot of money. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it here for right now, and I'd love to hear your stories. If you have any stories about the 1957 top set or Andy Phillip or any of the players that I mentioned in that article, let me know in the comment section below, and I will talk to you in another one. Have a good one. Bye.